Most men think the relationship ends the moment she says goodbye. It doesn't. What happens in the days and weeks after the breakup? That's where everything is actually decided. Who he becomes in that silence. How he carries himself when she's no longer watching. And there are two kinds of men in that moment. The man who chases and the man who disappears. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the second one is the man she can't stop thinking about. The calls start almost immediately. Can we talk? Then the texts. Long ones. Explaining everything he should have said before. Then the "I've changed" message. Then the late-night check-in just to see if she responds. And if she doesn't respond, the anxiety builds. He checks her social media. He asks mutual friends how she's doing. He shows up somewhere he knows she'll be just to see her, just to remind her he exists. Every single one of these moves comes from a real place. He's in pain. He misses her. That's completely human. But here's what she's experiencing on her side. Every call, every message, every accidental appearance confirms one thing. He can't function without her. He has no equilibrium outside of this relationship, and that confirmation makes it easier for her to move on, not harder, because what she needed to see, what might have actually changed things, is the opposite. A man who can stand on his own 2 feet, even after she left. Now let's look at the other version. The breakup happens. It's real. It's painful. For him too. And then he goes quiet. Not because he's playing a game, not because he's following some no-contact rule he read online, but because he's made a decision about who he's going to be in this moment. He doesn't call. He doesn't send the long explanation. He doesn't show up. He closes that chapter, not dramatically, not with a big statement. And he starts moving forward, back to his own life, his own routines, the things that existed before her. He's not pretending he's fine. Some days he's not. But he doesn't make that her problem. And from her side, the silence is deafening. Here's the psychology of what happens when he goes quiet. She was used to his presence, his attention, knowing he was there. Even if things were difficult, his existence in her orbit was a given. And now it's not. The human brain, when it loses something it's accustomed to, doesn't just shrug and move on. It starts scanning, looking for the thing that's gone, replaying memories, asking questions it didn't ask before. Why hasn't he called? Is he really okay? Does he even miss me? And here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment she starts asking those questions, she's thinking about him more than she was when they were together. His absence creates a space, and that space fills up with everything she didn't appreciate when he was there. There's a critical distinction here that most men miss. There's the man who goes quiet because he's secretly waiting. He's not calling, but he's checking her Instagram every day. He's not texting, but he's telling himself she'll come back. He's in his apartment, on hold, watching to see what she does next. That's not strength. That's just silent desperation. And she can feel it. Through mutual friends, through the occasional slip, through whatever energy leaks out even when he's trying to hold it in. And then there's the man who goes quiet because he's actually moving. He's back at the gym. He's seeing his friends. He's working on something he'd put off. He's not over it. Grief isn't that simple. But he's not frozen either. He's living. And that version of him, the one who's genuinely getting on with it, that's the one that changes the dynamic. Not because he's trying to make her jealous, but because he's become, again, a man with a life of his own. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. The period after a breakup, when handled right, is one of the most powerful periods of growth a man can go through. Not because pain is fun, but because being forced back onto yourself, your own company, your own standards, your own direction, strips away everything that was borrowed from the relationship. Who are you without her? What do you actually want? What did you compromise that you shouldn't have? The man who sits in that discomfort, instead of running from it by chasing her. That man comes out the other side, different, clearer, more himself, and whether she comes back or not, he's in a better position than he was before. Here's the reframe that changes everything about how you see this period. After a breakup handled with strength and silence, one of two things happens. Either she comes back, because the man she's seeing now, the one who disappeared without drama, who's clearly living his life, who didn't fall apart, is more attractive to her than the one she left. The dynamic has shifted, and this time, if she returns, it's on different terms. Because he's different, or she doesn't come back, and he's moved far enough forward that he's genuinely okay. He's rebuilt. He knows himself better. He's ready for something, or someone, that actually fits who he is now. Either way, he wins. The only version where he loses is the one where he spent those weeks chasing, begging, and shrinking himself. Because then, whether she comes back or not, he's smaller for it. Practically, what does this mean? Day 1 after the breakup. Resist the urge to reach out. Not forever, just today. Day 3. Do one thing you used to do before the relationship. Gym, friends, a hobby. One thing. Week 1. Delete her number if you need to. Not out of anger, out of respect for yourself. Make it easier to stay quiet. Week 2. Notice what you actually have time and energy for now. Use it. Month 1. You'll have moments where you almost text. Don't. Ask yourself, is this coming from genuine connection or from fear of being alone? The line between I miss her and I miss not being alone is important. Know which one it is. And at some point, whether it's her returning or you genuinely moving on, you'll look back at this period and understand why it mattered. The breakup isn't the end of the story. It's a test of who he is when no one's watching, of whether he has a self that exists outside of her. The man who chases, he fails that test, publicly, painfully. The man who disappears, not out of game playing, but out of genuine self-respect. He passes it. Quietly. And she notices. She always notices. Decode her. Decode yourself. Subscribe. New breakdowns every week.